we're not supposed to do this. So about that. Okay. Let me remove this. So after our five number, okay, let me start from here. So the GF info is like we're getting information about the names of the columns in our data and the type of the data types that we have here. So we have different types of data here. Remember, in programming, you have the integers, you have the object, the float, the strings, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, when we say GF info, so we're getting information about the columns that we have. The company column has the object, sector has the object, and so on and so forth. So you just need to work around it. Then thereafter you do the five number summary, which is the description, right? And yeah. After we describe the data, we can actually do the what do you call it? The missing data. Let's check out the missing data. But I want this missing data because these columns they're actually many. So when we display them in a table, sometimes they might not even disappear. We can actually visualize them. Yeah, the missing data. We check if they are there any missing data. So we can just plot them. To plot the missing data, we can actually use a heat map to visualize the missing data. So we're going to say plot the figure, then it will be fit size, size, costume, SNS. So SNS is that library that we've used there. You remember the C bond library that we have imported there. So we're going to use it. So hit map, then we see DF. DF is the name of our data frame. That data where is JSE limited, it's now inside the data frame, is called the DF. So it will be DF dot is null. Then it will be C bar, C map, dot, dot, C, dot, plot, show. Fit size minus 8. So now it's going to display our the missing data here. So because we're just exploring the data the way it is, and so this is type of heat map that we have here, and in actual sense, it doesn't even make sense. This heat map, because heat map is not supposed to be like this. It's supposed to have certain squares and everything. So yeah, the missing data here is not making any sense. So what we need to do, let's go and explore other things that we can actually check out. Let's explore other stuff. The other thing that we can actually explore, it's maybe the number of companies that are there, maybe by sector or something. We can say sector underscore count. Then we can just yeah. Now we're just visualizing, exploring our data because we don't know what's happening in our data. accounts. Print the sector count. So on the sector count, it means it's going to display the total number of companies by sector. You understand? And it will also display the types of sectors that we have in our data. So it will be sector underscore count. So in our data, because this data is called a JSE limited companies, means it's the list of companies that are there on JSE, Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And now these companies are being displayed by sector, not necessarily visualized. So it means in our data, there are 260 companies under financial sector, real estate, basic material, you understand? So these are actually values there. So in terms of technology, you have 68, telecommunication 40, healthcare 36, energy 21, and stuff. So this is how we checking out the number of companies maybe by sector. And what else can we visualize here? Um, let's check. We can visualize maybe by directors or shareholders. Check it. Company sector here. Number directors, directors, total directors. Okay. Um, okay. Let's check something here. We can visualize maybe by the number of probably female directors that are here, even the male directors. So let us check. It will be maybe we can plot, and when we compare here, because we're dealing the with the numbers, maybe we can plot a bar chart because it will list the name of the the sector of the company as well as the name of the company. Name of the company should be something like that. It will be the number of directors by sector, not by company. Sorry about that. It will be the number of directors by sector. That's what we're going to do. Usually, because yeah, you go to here and say, but bigger size. Just give it 10. Then it's SNS. Remember SNS lab package or lab the C-bone, right? So if you want to use the bar plot. Bar plot means we're going to plot the bar graph, right? And the name of our data is DF, the data frame. Then on our X, the X axis of X variable, so we'll determine it will be a sector. On our X, we'll have the sector. Sector. On our Y, we'll have it is the sector. Then our Y we can have maybe directors. Yeah, let's give it directors. All right. I have who is it? Directors. It will be total directors. Total directors. So let's give it total directors. Directors per sector. Whatever that you specify in between these codes, you need to ensure that it's actually what is appearing on the columns there. You see this column, this column is a company. If the company says it's company like this, and maybe let's say it starts with the lowercase, you need to ensure that whatever that you put or whatever that you do down there is in the lowercase. Understand? You need to check them out. And so I'm just checking them out using the missing value data. You can see them from this side. Total directors. So you can see the total is in uppercase, directors is also in uppercase, the first letter of this word. So you just need to be careful with that. So that you do not experience any errors. Then you can see now we need to let's go to the title of our graph. What the title, then the number of directors by company, by sect. Sorry, by sect. Then I'll place a plot. This try this title not high. Then the next thing that we want to plot would be the x axis, right? X label. Then it will be sector. We do the y label. Be total. Then plot x ticks. X ticks are actually you'll see them. You'll see the x ticks, and when I remove the x ticks, you'll also see something there. Plot x ticks. The it's a plot show typing errors. Yeah, plot dot show. So let us run this. Something here that I can see. That will be not treated this. It's going to give us errors. And as an answer. Yeah, so it seems like our code is fine. So let us run the cell. Uh, okay, x6. You see the errors here. Necessarily, they're not necessarily huge errors, just small errors. So here, the we're visualizing the data by number of directors by set. Uh, Basic material, it has this amount of directors, even though it hasn't displayed the total number, but you can see by observation of this bar graph that which sector has a high level of or a high number of directors. According to this, it's actually energy. Yeah. Um, the other thing that we can plot is maybe plotting what? Let me check something. We can plot the number of I mean what is it? The number of non-white directors by sector, number of white directors by sector, female directors by sector, and male directors by sector. So we can plot them using the very same uh, graph, just to check, just to observe our data. So let us start. So instead of starting from over, you can literally just copy your code here, make some few changes. Um, number of starting Let me do this. I need to pull off this information. Instead of just going down, I'll just put them as comments. It's not really necessary for me to run it. It's fine. I don't think it's. So we're going to do what? The first one will be non-white directors by sector. Non-white directors by sector. So let us run this one. Well, female directors by sector. Number of female directors. Let me see. The last cell, which is the rest. So visualizing using the paragraphs. So we're running our cell now. Should be something. Here we go. So it means by the look of things, uh, the most of these sectors here, just to make not necessarily to make a conclusion, but by the observation here as a data analyst, you can actually say in the sectors of companies that are listed at Johannesburg Stock Exchange, there are few female directors compared to male directors. So the male directors here, they are male. There are more male directors than female directors on the exchange listed companies. Right? Uh, so you can see here, the listed companies. So yeah, what else can you plot? Um, if we see we are plotting the correlation. Okay, the other thing that we can actually plot on what do you use in this other plot? You can list the number of companies that are here. Yeah. You need to analyze this. Yeah, the likes of visualizing the debt to equity, leverage, current ratio, sales turnover. Uh, Normally, this is the type of data that can actually be interpreted by someone maybe who's into accounting. I don't have any experience in accounting, so in terms of my skill set, the only things that I can actually visualize are the demographics of companies that are in the JSE limited as well as the sector. You understand? Those are things that I can visualize. The likes of debt, sales, turnover, the total assets. I can actually, I can't go any further with that. Yeah. Um, I think this for now will bring the end of the presentation, that so that when you are presenting to the judges, or adjudicators in the during the data can make sense of the data. You don't have to confuse people with the sales jargon. You have to specify whatever that is what those the adjudicators or judges can hear. So I guess this will bring the end to my presentation. If there are any questions, I guess they will be answered. Thank you. Okay, I will hand over to Tinashe or Tenji to take over the session. Over to you guys.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you, Karabo, for the presentation. I am available for any questions. I see there's already a question that's come in. Is there a standard way of presenting data, or can you use other alternatives? Uh, so by alternatives, I'm going to assume you mean tools. Is that correct? By alternatives. Hello? Can the person just indicate if they, by alternative, they mean tools? Otherwise, I will make an assumption. Okay. Wait, am I audible if I continue? Yes, yes.
Yes, you're on.
Okay, yeah. Just like the person who was asking the question elaborated on, yes, there are other tools. You mentioned Power BI. An alternative to Power BI is Tableau. Even within Python, there are different packages. You notice Carabo imported both Seaborn, which is for statistical visualizations, and matplotlib. So even within Python itself, there are many libraries which are used just for the sole purpose of visualizing. So Seaborn, Matplotlib, Plotly. Uh, you can even use pandas to plot. Not very common, but it's also possible. And then Tableau. Power BI, and then even your extremely basic tools such as perhaps Excel. So there are different ways. This is one of them, and then you decide which blocks you want to proceed with. I hope that answered the question. Okay, awesome. Can we please get more questions? Hello, any questions pertaining to data analysis or maybe even the methodology or the data? Don't be shy. If there's anything you want clarity on, please do ask. You might find somebody actually has the exact same question as you. Well, until you guys come up with your questions whilst you're still thinking of your questions, I'd just like to point out, you'll notice that towards the end, Karabo pointed out that he was able to do the visualizations extremely well. And then towards the end, he did state that his accounting knowledge is limited. It is what I referred to yesterday as a domain expertise. Because in your role when data analyzing as a data analyst or a data scientist, what often happens is you would consult either with your client or end user or an expert in order to deliver your final presentation, your product or solution, or you yourself would have had some background knowledge within the particular domain. So in this case, if Karabo wanted to go further with the analysis, he would then maybe have a meeting with an accountant or an economist, somebody within the finance sector who can explain to him what exactly these variables mean and the importance. And then he can then help them to visualize those variables so they're both able to draw insights. It's sort of like a collaborative effort. Alternatively, what can happen is somebody with background knowledge, so for example, maybe a mechanical engineer transitions into a data analytics or data science role, and they would have what is referred to as domain expertise. So they would understand what is meant by force or mechanical force or the heat transferred, because they would have practiced as an engineer or studied engineering. So the company might have, if a mining company has a data scientist, it might be somebody who works as a mining engineer and is therefore able to interpret the values. Okay, I have a question. Let me just read it. So the term beta is very subjective. So personally, I would say yes, Tableau and Python, because they're tools which are made specially for building dashboards. It's like that's their speciality. So you're more likely to get a better end result or user experience from using those tools. So I personally would say yes, they are better in that regard. Whereas Excel might be a bit more basic, relatively speaking. It's just for getting a quick look at your data and doing what you need to. But Tableau was built specially for data visualizations, and there is a community behind Tableau and Python, which you can then consult with regards to customizing your visualizations. The word customization it's eluding me right now. But basically, you can customize more. More features can be added. So basically, you're able to extend the type of dashboards you're able to build, and essentially what you're able to do. There's more features you can incorporate into building your dashboards, I would say. Because Tableau is, in the case of Tableau, it is for building those visualizations and dashboards. And then in the case of Python, there are libraries that are designed specifically to do that. So it essentially gives you a better ability to customize and use more features. And there is more, how can I say, there's more add-ons as time goes on. They release a new version of Tableau periodically, and with Python, it's open source and they are contributors. So they're constantly working to make those tools better. And it doesn't hurt that they're free. Thank you for that question. I hope that answered your question. Okay, thank you, Preston. Any more questions? Please don't be shy. Somebody else might have your question, and it will provide some clarity. So please do ask. Any questions? Okay. If there are no more questions, I'd like to hand over to Nick. Able to take over?
Thank you, sir. Okay. I hope everyone did enjoy today's section, and I do hope that it was informative as every other session. So I am going to do this as always, the auction style. We are going to check and see if you're all on the same page. So for those who understood today's session, for those who took today's session very highly today, to those who got clarity and those who have got the information that they didn't have from yesterday. So please, if you have seen, if this session of today has proven to be more informative than yesterday, please show me by a thumbs up in the chat so we can be able to see that how many of you are getting through with this session and how many of you are not understanding. So even though you're not if you're not understanding, it's really very good to raise your hand and get clarity. As we all know that there is no such thing as a stupid question. There is no such thing as a wrong question. So yeah, everyone who's here is available to actually assist and make sure that you actually leave here more informed than you came in. So I only see one person who understood the whole session. Wow. Are you all that confused? Or maybe you're not finding the thumbs up reaction. Okay, I would assume that, well, you're fine. Okay, well, as the session as the session was as brief as it was, Mr. Tsanashe, I'll give you the segment for last parting words. As yeah, word of the word of the session. So yeah, giving you this one so you can just have your parting words for our fellow participants.
Okay. I would just say with data analysis, there is no one set way to do it. It helps to look at many visualizations and to look at how other people have done data analysis. So although the steps are fairly standard, you import your data, you clean the data, maybe accounting for null values, dropping certain columns, renaming certain variables, grouping others. There is no like one way to go about it. It's just a case of seeing which variables need to be compared, which is where things like domain expertise come into play, and also consulting, doing a bit of research. So yeah, I would say play around with the data, explore it, try different visualizations, know what you want to get when you look into each visualization. For example, Karaba used the heat map. It's to check how many null values are there. So you might find that a column has too many null values. So you decide to drop the column entirely, especially if it's not too important to your insights, then you can drop the column. You might find that the column is important to your analysis and there aren't too many null values. So you can then do something like if they're numerical values, you'd either choose to, you can replace the empty spots using average values, for example. So yeah, I'll just say play around with the data, look at what visualizations are available to you. There's the heat map, there's histograms, there's straight line graphs, bar plots, pie charts. There's just so many. Oh, a question has just come in. Oh, sorry. Question is from Java. Should you present your data before usage and after cleaning it? No, so you typically only present the clean data, right? So when you import the data, you do the data analysis and use maybe visualizations like the heat map to see just how, inverted commas, dirty your data is, right? And then once you've cleaned it up, then you can, like there's two types of visualization. There's the visualizations you're going to present to the end user. And before that, there's the visualizations used to assess the data, right? And some of them overlap. So you visualize to see, okay, how do I need to clean my data? What do I need to do? And then once you've cleaned your data, you can present more visualizations in terms of gaining insights. Because ultimately going forward, one of the goals is to make predictions. So yeah, visualizations help you with all aspects of that. So cleaning the data, presenting the data, and knowing which machine learning model to choose. I hope that answered your question. There's clarity required there. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. All the best to everybody going forward. I don't know if Karabo or Chenji wants to say anything. Mr. God,
Okay, thank you. So, thank you for that. Well, yeah, I don't. I do believe that since Karabo is not here, well, you stand on behalf of Karabo. So, yeah, I think you said a mouthful. So, for me, from me again, my remark will always be the same as every day. Uh, Make sure that your presentation is worth. Oh, sorry. I was saying make sure that your presentation is in line with the competition or program that you are in. Make sure that what you are presenting is worth what's at stake throughout that competition, because of most do have programs that are not in line and are also not worth the stakes of that program. So do match your stakes and do make sure that everything is in line. Check the criteria of the competition, check the criteria of the program, look at the judging criteria and score, align your presentation with what's required as always.
So, not to waste time, we'll just go directly to our reports for the week. And I believe we all know that we have a proper format we're supposed to follow in giving our reports to make things fast and to get the details of the things I want to talk about. So I'd like to start with Alasan. Good afternoon. Please, can you give your report?
Sorry, I want to confirm. Can you hear me? It's really raining heavily here, so it seems to me. Well, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much.
I can hear you again if you're speaking.
All right. So one of the services that I'm managing is initial interest for um,
Сейчас. Фух. Так, все, стрим я возобновил, что-то у меня заглючил немного интернет. Я думаю, ты слышал, я просто предложу тебе сделать типа из стекла. Эти, факела, что это? Точнее, факелы. Точно, что это? Семек? Сейчас дам. Семок.
Ой, божечки, как больно. Миша, Миша,
Тихо.
ты видно, чем меня передать? Голова уже закапала.
И начинаем трансляцию. То есть сейчас мой YouTube должен... Ничего не понятно, но очень. Вот где-то тут должна появиться я. Фактически. Так, меня мы видим. Отлично. Вот задержка идет,
Да,
да?
господи.
Задержка. Как мы хотим показать экран? Вот здесь видим, у нас есть всякие такие вкладочки. Вот есть экран. Нажимаем показать экран. И показать экран.